my game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide a house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free Smoke.
Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Boss forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Through all that turnover, through all that adversity, the one thing that's main 1,000% for certain.
Here we go again.
Height 6'9",
wow.
weight 250.
Yeah.
Born to Gloria James in Akron, Ohio on December 30th, 1984. Really? And that is the reason. No matter how spectacular Kyrie is, and he's been spectacular, as long as I got him, I fear nothing.
He was born in a manger?
No, don't worry about it, Skip. She held him up because she knew he was going to be special.
There's no room, no room at the end.
How many other people named named LeBron? I know a lot of Michaels. I know a lot of Irvings. I know Irvin Robinson that grew up in my hometown. I know a lot of Kyries. I know a lot of people named Larry. How many LeBrons you know? How many?
Welcome back to Kicking It with Saint. I have been gone for a little minute. Probably about 4 or 5 days. Probably ain't even been that long, man. Days got busy. I'm trying to tell you, the days got busy. But we are here to recap the NBA playoffs, the semifinals, Lakers taking on. Well, really, we here to talk about. No, we're gonna talk about a little bit of each of one of the series: Lakers, Warriors, Suns, Nuggets, Bulls. I'm tripping. Heat are taking on the Knicks. And what's the last series? Boston taking on the 76ers. We got a lot to talk about. I'm going to tell you the order in which I'm going to talk about things. I'm going to start off with the Lakers, Warriors. Then I'm going to head over to Nuggets, Suns. Then I'll head to Miami. And then we'll end it off talking about James Harden and the 76ers. But I want to talk about the Lakers Warriors series. The Lakers have taken a 3-1 lead in this series. Now listen. if you follow me, if you listen to me, if you haven't listened to me, let me go ahead and tell you. If you listen to me, you already know this. I am a Laker fan. I have been a Laker fan my entire life. So obviously I want the Lakers to win, but I am also a Steph Curry fan. I've been a Steph Curry fan since he was at Davidson. So I do root for Steph Curry, but I don't want the Warriors to win as much as I want the Steph Curry to be successful. But I do want the Lakers. I'm not going to lie to you. I want LeBron to get a real ring in LA, bro, because I don't care for that bubble championship. I just feel like if we get past the Warriors, we can get to the championship. Now, I did think at first we could beat any team in the NBA, and I still believe we can. But I don't know if we beat Boston in 7 games, and that's going to tick me off more than anything. To get to the finals and lose to Boston, man, that's going to tick me the hell off. But let's talk about this Warriors series. So I see the complaints online. I see everybody talking about the free throw discrepancy. And I talked about it after game 1. I said it's going to be an interesting series depending on how they call the free throws. Excuse me. But listen, I'm going to talk about the free throws for a quick second, but then I'm going to hit on something else because I actually, while I do not agree, listen, I also have a problem with the free throws. However, not in the way that Warrior fans have a problem with the free throw discrepancy. You see, my problem is I don't like it when a team can rely on free throws rather than hitting shots. So I would prefer that the Lakers, who are probably the worst offense in the playoffs right now, but the one to get more free throws than any other team, really, if we could put together games where we don't need to rely on free throws, that would be nice. Because I'm concerned about Boston. Boston don't need to have a bunch of free throws to put up points. And they can run for days. That's who I'm worried about. So I would like to see the Lakers not rely so heavily on free throws. Now, in games 1 and 3, I agree. You could possibly make an argument that the free throw discrepancy is ridiculous. And listen, I hate referees. I done said it multiple times. It's one of the reasons why I don't watch a shit ton of basketball the way I used to watch it. That also got a lot to do with the fact that Kobe retired. But I don't watch a shit ton of basketball also though, because I get very irritated with referees and how they call these basketball games. I just feel like we enter in an era where you don't really have skill is not winning as much as the fouls, relying on foul calls. You see it every play. Some dude bitching about a foul call and stuff like that. Like it's hella irritating. You just want skill to take over and win these games. And so I get the gripe that people have with the free throws. I guess I would be madder about it if I wasn't a Laker fan. And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, he biased. He a Laker fan, so clearly he not going to. No, I 100% get it. I do not like it when teams win games. Like, I understand that in the game 1 and game 3, if you cut the Lakers free throws in half, the Warriors win both of those games. I get it. However, they don't necessarily win game 3. In game 3, I believe if you cut the Lakers free throws in half at the halftime, it's a 1-point game. So I get it. I get I done heard a lot of Warriors fans in the free throw complaints. I understand that. However, my counter to that, while understanding that, yes, I get irritated about the free throw discrepancy also. My counter to that would be this. What are you getting out of players not named Steph Curry? The Lakers know that all they have to do is defend Steph Curry. It don't matter how the defense is. It don't matter how many different type of defense they employ. As long as it stops Steph Curry from going nuts and dictating a game, they fine. Because what the Warriors have proven in the first round and in this round is that they are inconsistent. Not necessarily Steph Curry, but everybody else. I said it before. Klay Thompson had his best game of the playoffs in the past, 2 years? In game 3 or 4? In game 4. No. What game was it? In game 2. Game 2 was Klay Thompson's best game in the playoffs in years. You can't rely on him to give you that on an every game basis. Jordan Poole. They lost the game in which he had. Now I know that's where you're going to say free throws. Nonetheless, look at some of the decisions. I say it all the time when you talk about the playoffs in the NFL. Every possession matter, bro. Little things that you might not think matter right now ultimately matter in the grand scheme of things. Ask Joey Bosa. He found that out this year. The possessions where Jordan Poole just throwing up bad shots rather than trying to get the team involved, those matter. You're not going up against Sacramento. You're going up against LeBron James. So I understand people being mad about the free throws. I get that. But to not be mad about, to me, how the Warriors have built this team. Deciding to give Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole. For one, I like Andrew Wiggins, but before last year, he'd been an inconsistent player. To give him that contract extension off of the feel goods of one, and you think great organizations don't make those type of rash decisions just because you win a championship, especially when you go back and look at that championship. And as much credit as you want to give to Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry was responsible for over 50% of why they won that series. You take him out of that series, they don't win it. It don't matter how good Andrew Wiggins played. To bite off that contract for him, but then to follow it up by giving a contract like that to Jordan Poole. Listen, shout out to those two for getting that bread. They should have got that bread from a different team. I don't understand the roster construction with the Warriors. And I'm so glad this is happening because I picked the Warriors in 7 to start this series. And then after game 1, I came back and said, if AD can play like this, then we're going to win this in 5 games. I want to recant that statement. We're not going to win it in 5. I actually think the Warriors will go back home and win it. But I still think we're going to close it out at home. When I say we, I'm talking about the Lakers. I still think we're going to close it out at home. But I'm giving Steph Curry game 6. Game 5. I'll say Steph Curry will have a out of body. Well, not even out of body. I'll just say he'll have a crazy game 5 and he'll get back to LA. But we definitely closing it out in LA. And listen, this is what I want. For the Steph Curry, I understand there's Warrior fans out there who was actually Warrior fans and Steph Curry fans. I'm just a Steph Curry fan. But what I would say is this. You have to separate Steph Curry and the Warriors, okay? The Warriors are not as good a team when they are not hitting shots. And that's on me. Because if you listen to me, you rely on me to give you the grade. I should have given you, it's my fault. I looked at Steph Curry and I just was giving these other dudes hope. I was saying, I hope they can do this. I was relying off of what they've done in the past, when in actuality, a lot of these dudes haven't done it in the past. They was along for the ride. Klay Thompson is too inconsistent. Gary Payton is inconsistent and not the same dude he was last year. Draymond Green don't really give you much on the offensive side of the ball, and you actually do need points from him right now because of the inconsistencies of Klay Thompson. Draymond didn't need to score before because Klay Thompson was a consistent 20-plus point per game scorer. He is no longer that. Curry could rely on Thompson to go bucket for bucket with him in a game in the playoffs. He can't rely on that anymore. Jordan Poole is not only erratic, unpredictable, but he's also a god-awful defender and decision maker. Point blank period. Instead of just committing a little bit of effort on the defensive side of the ball at times, Jordan Poole would rather just foul a dude rather than just playing a little bit of defense. Defense take effort. When I see a dude just blatantly commit fouls rather than just putting a little effort forth to try to get a dude to miss a shot, that's embarrassing to me. Seeing dudes just walking around watching dudes take wide open jump shots instead of trying to contest. I don't care how good a 3-point shooter you are and think how bad they are at shooting threes. The fact that you on the court and you decided not to do nothing in this moment but to run back on offense rather than commit a little bit of energy to play some defense, that's amazing to me. And the problem with the Warriors is when you have a player as great as Steph Curry, you can get off of the path and not even realize it. Or you can realize and not really give a fuck because you got Steph Curry. And when you have a Steph Curry, he is the ultimate equalizer, much like LeBron James, much like a Kobe Bryant, much like a Michael Jordan, much like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They are the ultimate equalizers. So when you have them, You can make a lot of bad moves as a franchise. You can make a lot of, questionable decisions as a franchise because you got players who can cover up for all of that nonsense. Having Steph Curry has given the Golden State Warriors the ability to make bad roster decisions. I understand you've won when you were playing small ball, but the reality is the fact that you failed with the James Wiseman pick. The other draft picks that you signed and you drafted to try to bring in a new era, they have not panned out and given you good enough production to where they flipped the tide towards winning, where you can legitimately say Steph Curry got help out there, because that's really what the situation done become. Now listen, I understand you're going to have biased LeBron fans out there, but any real basketball fan out there, and I do think it's wild that people made such a big fuss about, LeBron had to play against Curry when he had help. Curry has no help, and I see nobody talking about that, but that's neither here nor there. Golden State got Steph Curry going out there on a nightly basis with no real consistent scoring help beside him. And the only true help that he has beside him that's going to show up on a consistent basis is Draymond. If I'm Bob Myers, who we don't even know if he's going to be with the Warriors next year because they haven't re-signed him. But whoever is running the Warriors next year have to understand it's a great chance that Wiggins, Poole, and Clay could possibly not be back next year. Because this roster, in my opinion, is in need of athleticism, height, youth, not even just youth. They need height. They need strength. They need athleticism. Dudes who can run in transition, dudes who can guard on the perimeter, dudes who don't have to foul every time and it's so many different players out there that could have worked for the Warriors that they just haven't signed because they couldn't afford it. But that's when I say you should be going all out to try to get Curry another ring, not to be trying to build your next dynasty. To me, the ignorance of the Warriors ownership and front office is exactly why they are in the position. And listen, Warrior fans got to understand, you're not really in a bad situation. You won a championship in that last year, unquestionable championship. Steph Curry led a team that was far less than the team that he had to take on in the finals and got you a championship. If you don't win one this year, that's fine. It's cool. You still have Steph Curry. Your thoughts should not be on if Steph Curry getting old and this and that. Steph Curry going to be fine. What you should be worried about is what team do you put around Steph Curry next year? Because the thing is, Steph Curry is going to be the ultimate Warrior. He ain't leaving. So now you have to put pressure on this team to make sure they put a proper team. I think it's foolish to not look for a trade for Jordan Poole in the off season. I just think that'd be a foolish decision not to, because I just don't think that works. And I think continuously trying to get Curry, this has got to be one of the most lopsided, discombobulated teams that Steve Kerr ever had to coach. And if you listen to me, you know I got a ton of fucking respect for Steve Kerr. I think he is a phenomenal head coach. And this to me got to be one of the most difficult coaching decisions coaching the teams he done had to coach, because you got Steph Curry, you got an inconsistent Klay Thompson, you still got a great Draymond Green, but what else do you got? You got spare parts everywhere else. And I understand Warrior fans love Klay Thompson, but it might be that time. And on the side of my Lakers, we getting championship number 18, fellas. We getting that championship number 18, fellas. Kobe looking down happy as a motherfucker right now. Listen. I remember years ago when I told my homeboy, who was a Clipper fan, when this was during the Lob City era and my Lakers was struggling, I said, bro, it don't matter all this shit talking you doing right now. I said, it don't matter, bro, because I put money that the Lakers still gonna win a championship before the Clippers ever touch its finals. And every single word of that has been true to this point. So, you know, I'm feeling myself. I've been wearing Laker gear all week, bro. I've been wearing Laker shirts, Laker hoodies, Laker beanies all week, bro. All week. Big Laker fan over here. I'm just so happy that my team, we back. I'm not a big D'Angelo guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a big D'Angelo guy, but I could care less at this moment as long as we win it. that's all that really matters, bro. That is all that really matters. And I'm happy that AD. I'm still concerned a little bit. I'm not concerned about Phoenix or the Nuggets. I'm concerned about Boston. But moving on. The Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix series. What a series. So I said in the beginning of this series, after the first 2 games, that that I could see a sweep happening for the simple reason. For some reason, Monty Williams is running a lineup where you really relying on Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to go for 40, 50 points apiece a night. And he not playing dudes like Terrence Ross, TJ Warren. Like, he got scorers on the bench just sitting on the bench. So that didn't make no sense to me. And I thought he was going to keep going with that. But then Chris Paul got hurt. And in game 3 and 4, he decided to use the bench. So shout out to Monty Williams for understanding. I got scorers on the bench who can take the pressure off of KD and Devin Booker. And KD haven't even had a good series to this point, in my opinion. He done scored points. That's because he got to. He got to keep shooting. He got no choice. And in game 3, listen, I can already hear the Denver Nugget fans talking about, well, listen, KD was like 1 for 10, and then they just started sending him to the line left and right. You see why I don't like referees. You see why it's hard to watch basketball. Because one team could be shutting down a player, and then the refs just say, you know what? Let's get this dude a couple points at the free throw line. And it's weird how that happened, but you just got to deal with that, because I don't also, much like I said, the Warriors have a bigger gripe about the free throws than the Suns. Than the Nuggets. The Nuggets' problem in this series is a couple things. Monty Williams decided to go with bench players. He finally expanded his bench. Devin Booker cannot be stopped right now. The man basically averaging 40 points. That's on the Nuggets. I don't know how you haven't figured out how to stop this man yet, but that's on you. The fact that the dude can go for this many points and you could just forget to continuously use a certain type of, and that's because you don't respect Devin Booker. Because I've seen teams play Steph Curry and commit from the start of the game to the end of the game. We defended him this way. We could care less how many buckets he hit. We not changing up this way we defend him. The Nuggets is like they just forget Devin Booker out there at times. It's absolutely crazy. Like Landry Shamet just being left open in the corner for like 3 or 4 3-pointers in the 4th quarter of the game. But the biggest problem to me with with the Nuggets right now, and the reason why I'm second guessing if this team really gonna come out of this series, is Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Neither of those 2 players are better than Jokic, who had a phenomenal game in game 4. But both of them are black holes. Both of them are ball stoppers. Both of them are momentum stoppers, unless it's their momentum. Both of them stop the ball from moving around. So they kill ball movement. They kill the spacing unless it's spacing for them. I done seen Jamal Murray. I done seen Michael Porter just jack up ridiculously bad shots in this series, especially these 2 games in Phoenix. And I done seen Jamal Murray just be an absolute ball stopper in these past 2 games. Get the ball and just stop dribbling. Stop passing and just dribble, trying to get a shot off and missing the shot. Game 3 was just god awful at the end. Just miss after miss after miss. And I don't understand, if you Mike Malone, how you can't go to Jamal Murray, a dude who ain't never touched an NBA Finals, who ain't never won an NBA Finals, who ain't never been considered a top 2, top 3 guard in the NBA. I don't understand how you don't go to him and say, you are killing the team. This team is at its best when the ball is moving around. I got too many motherfuckers out here that work too damn hard for you to be ball stopping every time you feel like you got to go one-on-one against Devin Booker because he going off, or you got to go off because Kevin Durant going off. That's not how and see, this is the problem with young players, bro. I saw the interview that Jamal Murray had with Inside the NBA after game 1. And I saw how he looked, it sounded like he was a little arrogant, like, it's beneath me talking to y'all, like, y'all dumb for not knowing how great I am. Like, I've been this, y'all the ones who can't, you know what I'm saying? And it's just weird to me that young dudes who done accomplished absolutely nothing but scoring a bunch of points in the playoff game They feel that way towards dudes who done accomplished shit in this game, who actually Hall of Famers in this game. And now you fast forward and you look at it and it's like, this is exactly what the old dude's talking about. Like, I don't understand how Mike Malone can't drink. And when you see a dude as great as Jokic going out there and playing a team game the way he played, just a magnificent player. And you see Jamal Murray and how he play. You see Michael Porter and the way he play. And it's like, man, y'all get such easy buckets when the ball is moving. But both of you, for some reason, consistently decide, fuck everybody else. It's all about me. And if Mike Malone can't find a way to get Jamal Murray from being that type of player, then they're going to either do one or two things. Fire him or get rid of Jamal Murray. And then the fact that you got two of them on the court in the starting lineup in Michael Porter. So now you got the second best player and the third best player being ultra selfish at just random parts of the game. Meanwhile, you got Devin Booker out there going off. Kevin Durant, you know, he's not as efficient as we used to, but he's still hitting big buckets in the clutch. Still passing the ball around, getting big buckets from T.J. Warren, big buckets from from Terrence Ross, big buckets from Landry Shamet. And you're just looking at Jamal Murray and try to play hero ball up and down the court, taking possessions away from Jokic, not understanding the moment. You know, I don't think you'll ever be able to teach these dudes this. They're just going to have to continue to fail over and over at these moments until they realize you become the man when you realize you don't have to be the man all the time. Obviously, Kobe, Bron, Jordan, Curry, obviously all those dudes feel like they are the reason their teams win. But they also understood, I need my dudes to succeed. Point blank, period. Maybe it's this new generation, or maybe it's this Twitter culture where, you know, they make it seem like everybody, LeBron carrying teams by himself, Curry carry teams by himself, Kobe, all these dudes carry teams. That's not the reality. So this type of selfish play from Jamal Murray and Michael Porter, to me, directly lead to, for one, I know Jokic ain't leaving because he is Denver. But my God, I don't know how Jokic probably not as an outspoken dude, but Jokic got to be able to get a hold of that, man. He got to be able to sit them two motherfuckers down and say, bro, y'all got to chill out, man. We got other dudes who work too damn hard on this team, cutting, rebounding, boxing out. Aaron Gordon worked too damn hard to continuously be looked off every time he wide open in the corner from Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. And I think one of the worst parts of this series is I can make an argument all around Aaron Gordon have been the second best player for Denver. And every opportunity, it feel like late in games, Michael Porter and Jamal Murray decide to just continuously look him off. And his defense go underlooked. His rebounding go underlooked. His just scrappiness go underlooked. His hustle. And that's a shame. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. If Denver don't figure that out, you either going to lose Jokic or you're going to have a dude there for a long time that ain't going to be able to get over that hump. Because he got two dudes directly working against what he do. Like, it'd be completely different if Jokic was an ISO type of player also. But Jokic getting motherfuckers involved. He understand. Jokic got a phenomenal little jab step. A phenomenal little floater. I ain't telling you Jokic a perfect player, but what I am telling you is you can build a championship team around Jokic. You absolutely can build a championship team around him. But at some point in time, much like Draymond said, the championship and the dynasty don't start with Dillon Brooks, it start after you. And that's how I'm kind of feeling with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. The championship window, the championship runs, the possible dynasty that could happen around a player like a Jokic, I don't know if that happened until after Jamal. And I know that sounds very critical, but this is a yearly thing. This ain't like Go back and look at Jamal Murray before he got hurt. Go look at Jamal Murray now. Like, it's not changing. He have a big game in the playoffs, and then it just becomes the Jamal Murray show. And you really got to look at the Denver Nuggets play to understand what I'm saying. But it ain't hard to see it once you start, if you watch them play. And the Michael Porter Jr. one is one that I just don't understand why they haven't fixed that. This is a dude who clearly not happy playing the role he in. He clearly want a bigger role and feel like he the best player on the team. I don't know how you continue to try to keep that type of player on your team, but that's just me. And moving on to this New York Knicks Miami Heat series. Listen, bro, it's like I told my cousin. As much as I liked that Knicks team and thought they were a good team, and I said, you know, I could possibly be picking them to win this series. Once my boy Jimmy Butler got hurt, and then the Knicks, because I already was leaning the fence, and I was like, man, I just don't want to pick against Jimmy. But then something special happened. Jimmy got hurt, and that's not special that he got hurt. But the Heat almost won that game without Jimmy and without Tyler Hero. And once that happened, I said definitively, once Jimmy get back, if he get back and he's healthy, Miami winning this series. There's no doubt about it, and it ain't going 7. And that's pretty much is what's happening. Because, listen, I'm not finna do what the media do. Blame Julius Randle. Even though I do believe it's wild that and this ain't just on Julius Randle. The effort getting out rebounded in these last couple games. When you are the top 3 rebounding team in basketball, that's inexcusable if you, the Knicks. I like Jalen Brunson. Miami clearly done figured out that when Jalen Brunson want to do the Jalen Brunson thing, we done figured out how to defend that. And the reality is they cannot stop Jimmy Butler. And at this point, Jimmy Butler can go crazy. He can have a game where he get everybody involved. Listen, am I telling you would this work against the Laker team? I don't think so. I just watched Steph Curry have a triple-double and still lose against the Lakers after leading much of that game. Because just nobody hit shots for him. Nobody. And like I said, you keep blaming the referees and the fouls and yada, yada, yada. Can you get somebody not named Curry to make a fucking shot when it matters? But right now, Miami got dudes making shots, but I think Miami just wanted more. That's what it feel like when I watch these games. They work harder for possessions. They hustle harder. They run the floor harder. It just feel like they don't need to see shots go in to work hard. Whereas the Knicks need to see shots fall for them to get into the game. Miami is more of a been here, done that. They gonna fall when they fall, but we can fall back on our defense, much like the Lakers. Now, Miami don't rely on the free throws that the Lakers rely on, but they still get to the line. But I just think Eric Spoelstra is the best head coach, and well, not the best, because I still think I would put Steve Kerr over him. But Eric Spoelstra is definitely one of the top head coaches in basketball, one of my favorite head coaches in basketball. And him and Jimmy Butler is just putting on a masterclass the last couple years. To me, it's just as simple as that. And in the East, I know I don't use the same logic in the West completely, but more so in the East, the best player on a team that's at least competent is going to usually win. And like I said, the Knicks just is falling apart. And I don't even think they just falling apart. I just think that's the type of pressure that get put on you when you take on somebody like a Jimmy Butler who, listen, Donovan Mitchell, great player, but he more of a me type. And I don't say that in a bad way. He haven't figured out how to get his big games to impact the entirety of a team throughout the playoffs. Whereas Jimmy Butler done found out how to do such. It's no different from a Steph Curry and a LeBron James. So the Knicks just went up against the wrong type of player ultimately. And then for the 76ers. You know, Harden played great game 1, they win. Play bad game 2, they lose. Play bad game 3, they lose. Play great in game 3, they win. In game 4, they win. He done hit basically 2 game-winning shots in this series. And man, it's such this series is so interesting because Boston looked like the better team basically every single game. Every single game, Boston basically looked like the better team. But you just get these vintage games out of James Harden, and Boston continuously show you that even though you shouldn't still be able to use the excuse they're young, they still make these boneheaded mistakes, and they have these these lulls throughout certain games where it's like, what are we doing? And so let me not say what are they doing? And to me, that's much of what you're getting. You know, Jason Tatum go through these stretches where he have these, you know, bad moments where he's struggling to score or he can't get a shot. He can get a shot off. More so is they just not deciding to shoot the ball. It's weird when it comes to the Celtics. It's very weird the ways they decide to make the game tougher for themselves. But when they own, they own. Like the Celtics could probably be the best team in the playoffs if you had to take a poll right now. A lot of people would probably vote that they the best team in the playoffs. But they have so many moments where it's like, bro, what is this team doing? It's a team that just got from the finals. They made multiple big runs in the playoffs. So it's weird that it's still happening at times. But shout out to James Harden, bro. He having an amazing series in those 2 games. And I still find it absolutely unbelievable that Tyrese Maxey, and I understand you can't take him off the floor, but not reeling him in. I don't know if he done hit more than 2 jump shots in this series. Damn near everything this dude shoot miss. He done started getting, he get to the rim here and there, but it's like it's this floater that he tried to do. And yeah, it done went in a couple times, but for the most part, you know, when he start missing them shot, for one, he don't even drive to the rim as much as you would want him to. He settled for bad jump shots. Like Tyrese Maxey to me has been a problem in this series. Doc haven't reeled him in, and it's really irritating when you see it. It's 3 players in this playoffs. It's just really, 4. That's just really bothering me. Jordan Poole, Tyrese Maxey, Michael Porter Jr., and Jamal Murray. Those 4 players, bro, my goodness, just, I really don't know what you, and I know you might say, well, why won't you put Klay on there? Well, while Klay is struggling to score, he's not really making dumb decisions. You know what I'm saying? He's not making a lot of boneheaded decisions. I mean, the Warriors they turn the ball over basically 2 times at the end of the game. They don't even get an opportunity to tie the game, but Klay Thompson not really making bonehead decisions to compound on top of him struggling to score. Whereas Jordan Poole just making, oh my goodness. But those 4 players, I don't know what you do with them at this moment, to be completely honest with you, especially when it comes to the Michael Porter and Jamal Murray being 2 starters for the team. So it's interesting, but that is the update on the NBA playoffs. I do got a Lamar Jackson video coming soon. I know I haven't dropped the Lamar Jackson re-sign video. That's because the playoffs is going on right now. I'm probably not going to drop a WWE Backlash video. I'm not sure yet. I might not. Who knows? I didn't recap WWE Draft either. I might drop a video recapping that. Who knows? But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It With Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Saint out.
You view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.